Bay Village Police, Sergeant Manabula.
The phones are ringing off the hook here at the Bay Village Police Department. People offering help, giving officers all sorts of information. But so far, no sign of 10-year-old Amy Mihaljevic, last seen talking with a man at the Bay Square Shopping Center after school Friday. Bay Village Police won't come right out and say that they believe Amy first talked over the phone before agreeing to meet with the man, but the request they made today indicates that that could be the first real hard clue that they're working on. Lieutenant Rick Wilson says the man might have phoned other children before Amy. Police want to know if that happened. He says the caller might have said he was a friend of a parent or a coworker and wanted to buy a surprise gift.
Asked that the child would help them to do this and to go with them to a shopping mall or a store somewhere to help to select and size this gift.
Amy's mother is convinced her daughter got such a call. She told me yesterday that's the only way Amy would have agreed to meet with a stranger, because she is so loving, so sensitive.
So far as I can understand, the only reason that this person got to her was because she wanted to purchase a gift for me, which is understandable, knowing my Amy. That would make sense.
Once again, here are the FBI artist sketches of the man seen talking with Amy. Please call the Bay Village Police Department if you have any information, no matter how small it might seem. As Lieutenant Wilson says, it could make a difference, because as each day goes by, this case gets more and more frustrating. Even so, though, he says they won't give up until they find the little girl.
As everyone else, we're working as hard as we can, and everybody's working long hours, and I have heard no complaints whatsoever.
In Bay Village, I'm Bill Yunkin, Eyewitness News.
We have the composite that they put on the TV. I'm, as everyone.
Bay Village Police, Sergeant Manabula.
She can't shut hers off. How about writing these down if there's no calls
Like this. If it's for their family, don't bring it here because we have nobody to help you.
Caller stated to the child that he was a friend of a parent or a coworker of the parent, and that the parent had recently been promoted at work and they wanted to buy some kind of a surprise gift for this parent, and asked that the child would help them to do this and to go with them to a shopping mall or a store somewhere to help to select and size this gift.
This doesn't happen. This is the only case like this we've ever had in Bay Village.
Bay Village families are worried about the disappearance of Amy Mihaljevic, worried that their child could be a victim.
We're just all very, very concerned, especially with her living right here in this neighborhood.
Tonight, Bay Village parents are keeping a watchful eye on their trick-or-treaters.
It's kind of scary to think what happened. I'm glad we have our parents with us.
Even though many are catching the spirit of the season, those who have lived here a long time say compared to years past, the streets are empty.
I think there are fewer children for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It just does seem to be a bit quieter this year. Maybe it's the weather, too, a little chillier. Of course, we all wonder, is it because of the Amy Mihaljevic case? I don't know.
And those who grew up here like George Mahowray say this abduction makes them realize Bay Village isn't an isolated community anymore.
Obviously, you don't like to see these kind of things happen, and you try to teach your kids to watch out for these kind of things. It's the kind of thing that it happens. You try your best. I guess the more and more we learn about this, you know, we feel a little bit safer because we have more information, and we can try to prevent something in the future.
Bay Village Police, Sergeant Manabula.
this long and to hear nothing is, I just uncovered too many stories like this. And I can't imagine. And there are some parents that never, they don't know for years what happened to their child. And just so all that we know is they
And I think that the children of this community should feel as safe and secure today as they felt last week and the week before, because these houses, even though they don't know the people who live inside, are filled with people who love them and care for them and would do anything at all to keep danger from happening to them.
Last night, Bay Village police released this new artist rendering of Amy's kidnapper. That prompted a flood of calls into the police department. Police spent today chasing down those leads, so far to no avail. While police continue to search, the community is gathering round. The last 5 days of Amy's disappearance has hit hard. There has been panic and paranoia mixed in with the sorrow for Amy's family.
And hope it brings Amy home.
Maxine McQuaid is a councilwoman in Bay Village. The Mihaljevic family is in her ward. This afternoon, she started a white ribbon campaign as a gesture of support for the family and a gesture of hope for Amy's safe return.
The waiting is just horrendous for everyone. And not hearing anything is just, it's been a real pressure on the city and the children in the city.
And the children are the ones former school teacher Sally Otto is worried about. She distributed red paper hearts to her neighbors for display in front windows. Sally taught for some 20 years in the Bay system, and while she doesn't want to minimize the dangers of our world, she does want children to know that not all is evil, that there are streets that are safe and loving.
These houses, even though they don't know the people who live inside, are filled with people who love them and care for them and would do anything at all to keep danger from happening to them.
The gestures will continue, the prayers will be said until some kind of answers come through on one of Bay Village's youngest citizens. Rebecca Shaw, Eyewitness News.
Ten-year-old Amy Mihaljevic is missing. She left school yesterday but never made it home. Her father says that's not like his daughter, the gifted student.
No, this is not like her at all.
A classmate saw 10-year-old Amy outside of the Bay barbershop leaning against one of these poles. She was talking to a man at the time. That was sometime between 3:15 and 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. No one's reported seeing the little girl since. Eyewitnesses helped police develop this composite of the man seen talking with Amy at the shopping center. Police describe him as about 5'9", medium build with a bald spot in the middle of dark, possibly curly hair. They think he kidnapped Amy.
We cannot find anybody who seems to know who this individual was or why he was talking to her.
Bay Village is a nice community, the kind of place parents want to believe they can let their kids be kids.
You want to let your kids go and be independent and ride their bikes and do whatever they want to do, but that's difficult to do.
But the community's pulling together in an all-out effort to find the girl. FBI agents joined Bay Village police in the search. People stopped to read the posters left in store windows, horrified a kidnapping could happen in their hometown. A tragedy that's devastated her mother.
You got my work number, you got my home number. Just call, sweetie.
In Bay Village, Cliff Caldwell.
Please call.
Eyewitness News.
Years.
It's a parent's nightmare. Your youngster is kidnapped, and that fact is on many people's minds here in Bay Village tonight. 10-year-old Amy Mihaljevic has been missing for 3 days. This is a school picture taken less than 3 weeks ago.
Please, Amy, come home. Just come home.
Amy's mother, Margaret, says the long days and nights are one big nightmare.
Oh, God, you can't imagine. The stress has been unbearable.
While teams of Bay Village police and FBI agents are checking out over 100 leads they've gotten, they're still looking for that one that will help them break this case and find Amy, last seen more than 3 days ago in the shopping center. This is a police composite of a man seen talking with Amy Friday afternoon. Police say he may have talked her into leaving with him with a promise to go on a shopping trip. Police and FBI agents say the man could have been familiar with the family, but they would go no further. Meanwhile, at Amy's school, teachers met with students today to talk about the apparent kidnapping, and parents like this woman are taking their kids to school. She says her daughter knows Amy and has lots of questions.
She just wants to know why. Why does it happen? Why does it have to happen? Why did it happen here in Bay Village?
It can happen anywhere. As Amy's mother says, kids have to realize that fact. And like so many here tonight, she hopes and prays that Amy comes home soon. In Bay Village, I'm Bill Yunkin, Eyewitness News.
But basically speaking, she was very responsible, very reliable.
Here to take one of these flyers.
At Pizza Huts throughout Northeast Ohio, you will get a little something extra on top. Flyers with Amy's face and the face of the man who is suspected of kidnapping her. This is one of dozens of community efforts to locate Amy. The community response grows every day. More volunteers, more leads. Meanwhile, the work in the trenches continues, and it is very hard work.
I'm here and I see people that I know have been here for 15, 16 hours, and a tip comes in and it's like they just came in. They're ready to go.
Lieutenant Wilson is amazed at the stamina of the force. The 24 Bay officers, along with between 30 and 50 FBI agents, have been working around the clock chasing down leads. He believes investigators are so committed because, well, it's personal.
Well, you know, they relate this and Amy to their own children, and they just want to find her.
Bay Village police are helped in their effort by the Cuyahoga Regional Information Service, a computer link-up of police records throughout the county, the state, and the country. The calls coming in about Amy Mihaljevic are straining the system. It was only designed to handle up to 1,000 inquiries on any one case, and the leads on Amy surpassed that yesterday. Rebecca Shaw, Eyewitness News.
Hands clasped, praying for the safe return of Amy Mihaljevic.
For all those who are forgotten, that they may know our love and the support of our prayers, we pray to the Lord.
This is the way parishioners of all the Bay Village churches are coping with the shock of her disappearance.
You just have this terrible feeling in your stomach all the time. And I have a 10-year-old, and she goes to a different school than Amy did, but I just can't imagine what her parents are going through. And I think this is just for people to show how concerned they are.
This is the way people here are dealing with their fear.
It hits pretty close to home. I mean, we live in Bay, and you lay awake at night just worrying about Amy. Just hope that she somehow gets back safely.
Their grief.
People have
been talking to one another in hushed tones and in small groups, and all talking about the concern that's here. But I think the churches have attempted to allow an opportunity for the entire community to respond. And a prayer vigil certainly seems to have done that for many of us. It's been a vicarious release of a lot of pent-up feelings and pain and grief.
Whether the pews were packed or filled with just a few, all churches were open. Local Kiwanis members like Bert Porterfield pitched in, handing out pictures of Amy.
It's amazing, the turnout, because it's just been an incessant, stream of people, both parents and I would say equally as many, if maybe not more, children.
And all just came to say a prayer.
What was your prayer?
That she'll come back safely, and if she doesn't, that she'll be up in heaven.
The white ribbons tied around big trees that line the Bay Village streets speak for themselves. They're everywhere, as a reminder that Amy is still not home.
It might help the family that knows that we're all thinking about them and praying for them, and it's something to do.
Julie Helm has 2 teenagers, and like so many who live here, the long wait is agonizing.
Keep thinking something is going to turn up. This not hearing any news is just so hard.
Meanwhile, at City Hall, volunteers continue handing out flyers with Amy's picture and the composite of the man she was last seen talking with a week ago yesterday.
There's that shopping center, all those stores in there.
Okay.
Check those out for...
Okay, great.
Colton Scarborough says tens of thousands of these flyers are being donated, and they're being posted everywhere. Some are even being taken out of state by traveling businessmen.
We want Amy back, and we want her back alive, and we want her back quickly.
As for the police and FBI investigation, officers are back out on the streets again today, checking out all leads. As one officer told me, they can't afford to ignore any, no matter how small.
I'd like to say that we're just, every lead that comes in, we're following up on, and at any time it could be the one we're looking for.
Lieutenant Richard Wilson says all they can do is keep on looking. But after 8 days without a major break in the case, the pressure is starting to show. The FBI's William Brannon puts it this way.
The longer it goes, everybody becomes more and more concerned.
As hours run into days, the concern grows for many in this community. The white ribbon's a constant reminder that Amy Mihaljevic is still missing. Folks here can only hope and pray that this story has a happy ending. In Bay Village, I'm Bill Yunkin, Eyewitness News.
First in Ohio, TV 5. Live from Ohio's news channel, this is Eyewitness News Live on 5 with Wilma Smith, Roy Weisinger, and the Eyewitness News team.
She just says, I think I saw a dead body. It may be a dummy. I'm not sure, but there's a body up the road. Call the police.
It is a white female child.
Color of hair, anything?
I can't comment on that.
Clothes?
The body was clothed. I can't comment on the type of clothing.
From what you've been able to determine or learn, had it been there long?
I really couldn't determine that by just looking.
She disappeared on October 27th from this shopping center in Bay Village. Friends say she told them a family friend was taking her shopping to buy something for her mother. The FBI and local police immediately asked for any and all help from neighbors and anyone who might have seen Amy. Several nationally syndicated television crime shows ran segments on Amy, searching for clues to her disappearance. These pleas for help paid off as hundreds of calls led to clues on her disappearance. In December, a search in Dayton led to nothing. Last month, there was a reported sighting in Oklahoma. An investigation of that found no clues as well. Her disappearance has, at once, brought together all of Northeast Ohio in a nationwide search for this 11-year-old girl.
White ribbons remain tied on trees in Bay Village. They were hung last fall, shortly after Amy's disappearance. Earlier today, the ribbons symbolized hope. Hope that one day family, friends, and neighbors would see the young girl again.
It is something that you think about every day, even though it's been a number of months now. Especially, you still see her pictures up and the ribbons that are on the trees that are starting to wilt. But I don't think that the spirit has died in looking for her.
Amy's teachers at Bay Village Middle School were stunned after learning a body was found in Ashland County. They declined to make public comments, but knew they had to say something to the children. One of Amy's classmates told me off camera that right before school was dismissed today, the principal did tell the students what's going on. I asked the young boy how he felt after hearing that news. He said, really scared. His mother is really angry.
I'm upset that there's somebody out there that could do this to a child, and it makes me leery about my own kids.
The school has a plan to help students, parents, and teachers cope with the anger and the loss. The principal won't say how, but said it will have to be done soon. Alice Edwards, Eyewitness News.
She just says, I think I saw a dead body. It may be a dummy. I'm not sure, but there's a body up the road. Call the police. That's what she asked me.
Did she say anything about what it looked like?
Later, she told me it had light-colored jogging pants on and it was face down. That's all I know. I think she said the back of its hair was messed up.
It's really hard to picture. You've been having this on television for 3 months. Yeah. And then you wake up in the morning and find it's about 300 yards, find the body about 300 yards from your house. And that is something you really sit down and think about then.
She disappeared from here, a Bay Village shopping center. The early lead police had was that a stranger had contacted Amy about going on a shopping spree for her mother. A search of nearby woods turned up nothing. Soon, FBI agents released this composite drawing of the suspected kidnapper, but no solid leads resulted. On her 11th birthday, classmates planted trees and held this vigil to keep her memory alive. After the new year began, police released this videotape of Amy in class, providing the best moving pictures of the girl. And then out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a woman claimed to have seen Amy in a shopping mall, but police could not confirm the story. And even as late as last week, billboards were being put up across the county in hopes that someone could provide a key clue to Amy's whereabouts.
The 3-month search for Amy Mihaljevic ended early yesterday in a field in Ashland County. A jogger discovered the body and alerted sheriff's deputies there. The coroner's report revealed a brutal death.
Stab wounds to the left side of the neck.
Which part of the head?
Undetermined amount of stab wounds.
Ever since the discovery of Amy's body, authorities have been combing the site for any scrap of evidence that they can find.
We will determine when we examine it thoroughly whether or not it is of any value to us.
People living in Ashland County can't believe what's happened.
It's really hard to picture. You've been having this on television for 3 months. Yeah. And then you wake up in the morning and find it's about 300 yards, find the body about 300 yards from your house. And that is something you really sit down and think about.
But the news is even harder to bear for the people of Bay Village, who, since Amy's disappearance in October, have been actively involved in the effort to find her. These 2,200 flyers were to be sent out today to YMCAs across the country. But now, instead of focusing on the search for Amy, the focus is now tracking down this man, rendered in this police composite. He is believed to be Amy's kidnapper and murderer.
You don't see children walking around by themselves. Bay Village has been seared by the killing of Amy Mihaljevic. Time and again, we heard people say they were surprised, shaken, that such a horrible thing could happen in this tree-lined, peaceful community of 18,000 people.
I can't explain it. I guess we just feel safe here. You pretty much know everybody. There's parks, there's places that you feel safe that you can send your children, and that's all. I just don't know why you feel safe here, but we do.
A flag at half-mast, faded ribbons around trees, all reminders of Amy, and a sad reminder to people here in Bay Village that, just like all of us, we're vulnerable. The banquet planned for next Thursday will go on as scheduled. The money raised will be used assisting missing youth, AMY, Amy.
We're going to raise the money to establish the reward fund for the arrest and conviction of the person that has now killed Amy Mihaljevic, as well as a certain amount of money will be set aside to hopefully educate kids in Greater Cleveland so this doesn't happen again.
Happen again? We pray not. But the image of this young girl has been burned into the memory of young and old alike throughout Greater Cleveland. Alan DePietro, Eyewitness News.
Well, we've received well over 100 leads since the discovery of the body yesterday. We are prioritizing and looking into those leads, following up on them as they come in. We've sent some people from our task force to Ashland County Sheriff's Department in Ashland, Ohio, and we've set up a command post there and are working in conjunction with the Ashland County Sheriff's Office. We have picked up various items, some of which will be of evidentiary value.
As far as a suspect, police are still looking for this man, as rendered by police artists, according to two separate witness accounts. Police want you to keep this image in mind, but at the same time, don't let it distract you from other clues.
Yes, they should keep that in mind, but don't let that be the only thing that they consider. If they know of someone who has had behavioral changes recently since the time of the abduction, if there's been changes in their work habits or an unexplained absence from work or from their residence, by all means call us and let us have that information.
Thank you, Cleveland, for all your efforts, for all your hope, for all your support, for all your caring, and bless you. What a loss. We're going to find him. What a loss. We're going to find him. It's like, that's it, someone is here. Go find him. Just a memorial. Sending out posters, taking calls, and writing letters. The businesses who donated services, time, and money. The individuals who hung posters, who sent in donations. The friends and neighbors who sent us meals and wonderful, loving notes. The caring citizens who sent up the AMY fund. We, as her family, request that the February 15th Evening for Amy fundraiser continue as planned. In fact, we consider it an honor and a tribute to Amy's memory. It is our plan to indeed attend. We ask that any gift be a living remembrance to one of two organizations. The Lake Erie Nature and Science Center, because Amy loved animals and loved to learn. And of course, to the Community Fund for AMY, to protect the children of the present and the future. We feel that donations here in these two places would serve as a tribute to all those who have helped in the search for our Amy. We don't have anything else to say except thank you, Cleveland, for all your efforts, for all your hope, for all your support, for all your caring, and bless you.
They're flying the flag at half-staff at Bay Village City Hall. White ribbons are still tied to trees. Amy is and always will be remembered. The flag's at half-staff at Amy's school, too. It's tough, but the idea here today was to make things seem just as normal as possible. There wasn't very much break from the everyday routine. But there had to be some. First thing this morning, teachers told students any emotion they feel is okay, and that counselors were there to help.
That they felt that they needed to talk to someone, that there were people here available for them.
Sue Andreg is one of those counselors. She tells me some students are coping well, others are struggling. She says students shouldn't keep things inside.
We need to listen to our children talk about the grief, their anger, their frustration, whatever they're feeling. We need to validate their feelings, and then we need to talk about their future.
In other words, they need to feel that things will be okay. They've been through so much, the sudden disappearance of their classmate and friend. They've prayed, planted trees, held a vigil. They've hoped, and now they know Amy is gone. Help is available for students and parents, too.
Particularly in the area of how to deal with their children. We're just at the beginning of the grieving process, and we need to go through that and deal with that.
An entire community will grieve together, drawing strength from the memory of a little girl. Lou Maglio, Eyewitness News.
What do you think of the sign is very moving?
Are there any more picking through the field at the scene?
Yeah, we have some agents out there, and we have officers working with the Lorain County. I think so.
Soon, or?
I don't know, but I'm confident, or hopeful, at least I will say. I'm hopeful that the dig up down there will help us.
You haven't found the car that she might have been in. What was that about the car with the trunk open down the street or something?
Yeah, we had a report down there who the individual was.
The person who reported it didn't get a license plate, or?
Well, if they did, we would have had them. All of them, we do have some suspects, obviously. You must know that, but I can't reveal anything about the number or who they are or anything like that.
Okay. And one final question. In any of the evidence that you picked up out in the field, did any of that point to where Amy has been prior to when her body was dumped on the field?
Well, I can't really comment about that.
Okay, good. I think that'll do it. You want to get some. The autopsy was done in Cleveland, is that right? But because the crime was committed in, yeah. But she said Ashland County was handling it in the coroner. They said he was releasing it. Is that because the crime happened or the body was found in Ashland County?
Yes, the coroner of Ashland County would be responsible for the body or in charge of the body. Okay. He requested that the body be taken to Cuyahoga County. So that's protocol.
Dr. Balraj actually did the autopsy?
Coroner.
In charge.
In charge of the body, yeah.
Okay. Do you know if troops are out there anymore picking through the field at the scene?
Yeah, we have some agents out there, and we have officers working with the Lorain County Sheriff. on a continuous basis. The cooperation we've gotten from them has been very good, and we commute down there with them.
Okay. Let me ask a hypothetical question. If there were trace evidence, like a hair on Amy or something under her fingernails or something.
Just before 5 this evening, hundreds of people poured into St. John's Cathedral to join in a memorial service for Amy Mihaljevic.
I'm sick inside. It's being a parent. I have 2 children of my own, and I just, there's not enough words to express my sympathy.
Well, I didn't know the girl. I really feel that what happened was a terrible tragedy, and I think it's really good that we can be able to come here and honor her and pray for her and her family.
Today, as we come together to pray for Amy, and we come together tonight to pray for all the victims of such violence, especially the youth.
As this service drew to a close to the west of Cleveland in Bay Village, over 1,500 people began arriving for a 7 o'clock memorial service in memory of Amy at the Bay Presbyterian Church.
A lot is full, ma'am.
It was standing room only, with people spilling into the lobby, including at least a dozen FBI agents in trench coats who have been covering the case. The service lasted just over an hour, and those who came here say it helped.
I think it gave our children that peace to know that she's safe now.
I feel a little bit sad that my classmate is missing.
Okay, how do you spell your last name?
If somebody out there has information about the individual responsible for this crime, they could be in peril themselves. Should we draw closer to him or her, or whoever it might be, and he would like to protect himself and eliminate anyone else that knew about his involvement, they could be in danger.
When Amy's body was found last week, many expected the Amy Center at Bay Village City Hall would close up shop. Not so. A peek inside finds the room bustling with activity. There isn't the urgency here there was when Amy was missing. After all, she has been found. But there is a steely determination to do their part in making sure Amy's killer is spotted. The volunteers being lined up no longer distribute posters or flyers of Amy. Instead, it's the composite drawing of the man who is believed to be her killer. They will continue to help until authorities tell them it's no longer needed. And then they have plans to write up all they've learned the last 4 months into a kind of game plan for other communities hit by such an act of violence.
This should happen in another community. They could become effective immediately. We kind of had to piecemeal things together. Everybody just came in.
The biggest help has been a centralized location, one place where folks can pitch in, a place with phones. Coordinators here figure that the donated goods and services and volunteer hours probably total some $500,000. It's an effort everyone involved says they'd do all over again if it could help just one child make it home.
It's an ugly world, basically, out there. A lot of tragic, awful things happen. And yet we know there are still people that want to do good things and want to help one another out.
Rebecca Shaw, Eyewitness News.
Was through here today. What was there?
There are other missing children. There are more out there. And if I can help wake up the nation to the fate of these children, I want to do it. We know now what brutal fate Amy suffered. We can only imagine what torture she must have gone through. But there are other children.
Share with us your thoughts about how you're feeling with the killer still at large.
Frightens me. If someone who looks like this did it once, maybe he did it before that time, maybe he'll do it again. We've got to find him. I cannot deal with what Amy might have gone through yet. I cannot consciously think about that. I block it out of my mind. I cannot handle that yet.
When the body was found, did that help you close a door on one part of this, and how?
On one part of it, yes. The door will never be closed for me because there is a vast emptiness inside of me that Amy's passing has left. But it did end the agony of not knowing.
Margaret Mihaljevic is strong tonight and brave. She says the courage to face this ordeal comes from all her supportive friends and community members. The outpouring has been tremendous. Over her shoulder, you see a single white rose. It was delivered today from Patty and Jerry Wetterling. Their son is still missing. He was abducted from their Minneapolis community. This is the mail that comes in every day from mothers, fathers, and children around the nation. And on her couch sit several stuffed animals. Friends decided to send them instead of flowers.
To us, it's brought a great deal of comfort because they are something tangible that we can pick up and hold and hug in a way that we can't hold and hug Amy. So they've been a great deal of comfort to us, and we will cherish them forever.
Lawmen here in Bay Village begin each day hoping to find that one piece of information that will help them solve the Amy Mihaljevic murder case. Lieutenant Jim Tompkins heads the investigation.
Obviously, in a case like this, you look at a lot of things that for one day might look good or 2 days might look real good, and then the third day they don't look so good.
It's been like that since the little girl disappeared from the Bay Square shopping center last October. I've learned that until her body turned up a week ago, lawmen here expected to be pulled from the case. Their leads were drying up.
But I can say unequivocally that if this case can be solved, if it's solvable, the FBI and the Bay Village Police and the Sheriff's Department will solve it.
Bill Brannon heads the Cleveland FBI office. He says every FBI office in the nation has been involved in checking out information in the Mihaljevic case. Still, they come up empty-handed. Not only were lawmen just about ready to start cutting back on the case, but now some are even questioning the validity of the composite drawings of the suspect. I'm told they're based on the descriptions of 2 10-year-olds. The 2 youngsters gave varying descriptions of the man they say Amy was talking with at the shopping center the afternoon she disappeared. Lieutenant Richard Wilson says it's all they have to work with, other than the FBI's profile of a person who might be involved in a kidnapping and murder. He says the suspect may have undergone drastic changes in routine.
Changes in their work habits, a sudden unexplained vacation, sudden change in their consumption of alcohol or drugs, suddenly find religion.
And as always, if you can help, please call Bay Village Police or the FBI. In Bay Village, 1 week ago today, Amy's decomposing body was found along this backcountry road in Ashland County. Officially, lawmen are more determined than ever to catch the person who brutally stabbed her to death. Unofficially, many wonder if they ever will. Their theory now is the one person who could help could be too afraid to get involved. Thousands of telephone calls have come in to Bay Village Police and the FBI during the investigation of the Mihaljevic case, but so far none of them have paid off. I'm told it's very possible that the one person who could help, the one person who knows something, won't call. They don't want to leave a name. That's where Crime Stoppers comes in.
This is at least a program where they don't need to be afraid.
Over 400 people turned out at the Westlake Holiday Inn tonight for the AMY fundraiser. It began with a cocktail party and then a dinner. At the tables were representatives from the Indians and Browns. Also in the crowd, Wilma Smith, Ted Henry, Roy Weisinger, Don Webster, and Bill Youngkin. At $50 a ticket, tonight's party helped raise $25,000. This check was accepted by co-founder Tim McManaman.
The $25,000 that all of you have added to our fund tonight brings our fund close to approximately $40,000 towards our cause. We feel within a matter of 2 to 3 weeks we'll have accounted for all of these generous contributions. The executive board, the officers, several of our honorary trustees we're going to ask to sit down to help us decide to allocate our money between our 2 primary goals. Number 1, the reward fund, and secondly, the educational fund.
At the head table, all 4 of the city's sportscasters, who tonight joked and traded barbs. Nev Chandler began their speeches with a remembrance.
We pick up the pieces, we go forward, and that's why we followed through with the evening at hand. I think resiliency is certainly a great trait of our society, and we forge ahead. We don't forget what's taken place, but we learn from it, and we do whatever we can to prevent any reoccurrence in the future.
And finally, Mrs. Mihaljevic.
What makes Amy more special than all the other missing children? Well, Cleveland,
Look in your mirrors. There's the answer. It's you. Thank you very much for this evening. Thank you for your support, your love, your caring. Please continue to support the Community Fund for Assisting Missing Youth and the Lake Erie Nature and Science Center. And thanks for having us smile a little bit.
This is the man police and FBI agents are now looking for. He's 25 to 35 years of age, stands 6 feet, and is light-complected. 13 hours before Amy's body was found along Ashland County Road 1181 last February, a witness spotted the man standing next to a dark blue hatchback. The hatchback was open. Lieutenant Richard Wilson says the witness waited a year before coming forward.
Up to that point, the witness didn't feel that the information was very important.
In addition to the new composite drawing, the Mihaljevic investigation has taken yet a new turn when a man walked up to a Salvation Army bell ringer over the weekend and confessed to being Amy's killer. The man was around 40 years old, had thick wire-rimmed glasses.
The individual went into the grocery store, came back out, said it again.
He then got into a dark brown Chevy pickup with a cap and running boards. Lieutenant Wilson said the man did not match their new composite drawing. The two new developments bring back the horrible memories for Amy's mother, Margaret, but for her, the pain will never go away.
It's very difficult to handle, but by the same token, if these things weren't coming forth, that means people would have forgotten, and I'm very, very grateful that they haven't stopped looking.
If you recognize this man, call Bay Village Police at 871-1234 or the FBI. The number is 522-1400. In Bay Village, I'm Bill Yunkin, Eyewitness News.
Amy pulled a community together as a family.
A flowering star magnolia stands next to the black granite monument engraved with Amy's picture, a tribute to the young Bay Village girl who was abducted 1 year ago today. Margaret Mihaljevic feels this spot is most fitting for her daughter's memorial because it is directly across the street from the shopping center where Amy was last seen alive.
And we're not going to give up until we see this thing through.
FBI Special Agent William Brannon says no single event has touched the Bureau so deeply. He told Eyewitness News if Amy's kidnapping and murder can be solved, it will be solved. However, there is no prime suspect at this time.
We have a number of individuals who we have had an interest in, and many of them we have discounted. There are other individuals that we are still looking at.
We are as dedicated today as we have ever been to resolving this terrible crime and to bring the person responsible to justice.
In the meantime, Amy's mother is urging everyone to stop living in the shadow of Amy's tragedy.
Let's fill the void that her passing has left with positive thoughts, with a smile on our face, and say she blessed our life for a while. Unfortunately, she is gone, but now we must live on. We must do what we can with what she gave to us while she was here.
It is Margaret Mihaljevic's wish that we learn from Amy's tragedy, but not wallow in the sadness. In Bay Village, Deborah Lee, Eyewitness News.